Cory Hardrict just blew the lid off the Mowry twins' relationship, and what he's claiming about Tia is messy in a way nobody saw coming. According to Cory, Tia and Tamera didn't just grow apart. He's saying Tia straight up hates her own sister. A lot of those random moments from over the years start looking very intentional. Because think about it, the awkward interviews and even the shady comments from Tia aimed toward Tamera. At the time, people brushed it off as normal sibling tension, but now it's starting to feel like a pattern that's been building for years. And here's where it gets even crazier. Cory is tying all of this back to something way deeper than jealousy or rivalry. He's hinting that politics and race just might be at play here. And the way he's saying it, girl, it's clear that Tamera isn't who we think she is at all. So is Tamera really the bad guy here? Or is Cory trying to cover for his ex-wife? Let's break it down. Okay, so it looks like the beef between Tia and Tamera goes deeper than we thought, because Cory claiming that Tia actively hates Tamera is not something we expected. And from what Cory is now saying, the tension between the two sisters has been going on for longer than we could have guessed. See, the streets have been saying for a hot minute that there was some sort of drama going on with the sisters. We finally got some confirmation when Tia revealed in her docuseries, Tia Mowry, My New Act, that she and Tamera were no longer as close as they used to be.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
The fact that she couldn't lean on her twin sister during gone of the hardest times in her life spoke volumes. But girl, from Cory's revelations, it just didn't start today. The tension had been building up for years. And when you take a minute to think about it, it was right in front of our eyes the whole time. But the thing is, at the time, people kind of thought that Tia was the bad guy and Tamera was more than right to hate her. Fans have always accused Tia of low-key being shady toward Tamera. And to be fair, there are some moments where she did come across that way. For example, do y'all remember when Cory proposed to Tia? At the time, Tamera was still very much single, and there was this paparazzi moment where Tia referred to herself as the engaged one. And from Tamera's expression, it was clear that she felt hurt by Tia's statement.
I'm Tia, the one with the ring.
Oh.
So don't get it twisted.
Okay, Tia.
That's my sister, the one without the ring. I'm married.
Yeah, put it on the box. Put it on the
Really? Tia, the one that's married.
Okay,
yes.
okay. And
People always get it mixed up.
All right. That's funny. All you ladies.
Now, with that jab, you'd think that Tia would finally feel happy for her sister when Tamera eventually got engaged, right? Well, not really. When Tamera eventually got engaged to her now husband, Adam Housley, Tia was not exactly helpful during the wedding planning process.
You said you wanted to be the maid of honor, but you couldn't do a lot of things. So in my head, I'm like, you know what, Tia's just being Tia. I got used to it.
And sometimes, it kind of seemed like she was deliberately going out of her way to make things as difficult for Tamera as possible.
Right? I'm gonna think about it for a second.
Why do you need to think about it?
Because sometimes, Tia, you're selfish.
Why
You are.
you crying? How am I selfish?
Because you just don't get it. You don't get it right now.
So you're this upset about it?
The fact that I have to explain to you why I was upset because you were late.
You're saying
can't
that I'm
see.
selfish.
Yeah. The thing is you don't care. You think about yourself.
How am I thinking about myself?
There were rumors about some good old sibling rivalry between the sisters, and the rumors got even stronger when Tia announced her divorce from Cory the same week Tamera was set to release her book. A lot of people found this shady, and in this interview that Tamera did, she felt a type of way about the situation as well.
Just announced that she's gonna be getting a divorce.
Yes.
Does like a half of your heart break for her?
I support her.
Yeah.
So, whatever she wants, the Mowrys have her back. I love her dearly. She is strong. But I know right now she just kind of just wants to, just process it all, take it all in, and, be a little private about that.
Yeah.
And, as a sister, I'm just going to respect that.
Totally.
So, it looks like Tia has been going out of her way to sabotage her sister. But why on earth does she hate her so much? Well, Cory is now claiming that it all has to do with Tamera supposedly being racist and Tia hating her for it. Say what now? If you've been keeping your ears to the streets, then you've probably heard about how Tamera is low-key racist. She has always gotten the side-eye from her black fan base for marrying a white man. And not only did she marry a white man, but she also tends to lean more into that white side. And it seems like she barely even acknowledges that she's black. For example, Apart from Tia, Tamera's bridesmaids at her wedding were almost all white women, which had people talking about how she preferred to be friends with white women over black women. And when you compare it to Tia's wedding, where her bridesmaids were mostly black women, you kinda see how different they are. Now, having white friends doesn't necessarily make you racist, but the thing is, Tamera's husband, Adam, has been accused of saying some offensive and borderline racist things in the past, and she has always been more than happy to defend him. For example, when the government proposed canceling the SNAP benefits last year, Adam showed his support for the proposal, claiming that people spent their benefits on junk food, not healthy food. And from the things he said and the way he said them, it was clear as day that he was referring to black people. Taking to X, he tweeted, "As a kid who grew up in neighborhood grocery stores since I was 5, I can't tell you how many times I saw people come in and buy crap food for their kids with food stamps, then open the wallet and use cash for liquor, beer, wine, and cigarettes." He continued, "Then there were those who would repeatedly buy a lemon or lime, get the change, walk out the door, throw them away, and do it again, until they had enough change to buy cigarettes or alcohol. As a kid, it pissed me off because there are some people who could really use the help, and then there are these others working the system." First off, that comment was giving black people game the system and their trash parents. But what really rubbed people the wrong way is the fact that he grew up rich. He came from real money, so there was no way he was just hanging out at the corner store as a child, watching black people play the system. So he likely just made that whole thing up. Oh, and let's not forget that Adam also used to work for Fox News, which is believed to be pro-Trump. This has caused fans to believe that he might be low-key racist. And it got to a point where Tamera had to publicly deny that her husband was racist.
Saying, in the sense that, like, there are some people who think that my husband is racist because he worked for a certain channel. I'm gonna look in that camera right there and let everybody know my husband is not a racist. Boom, and that is.
But as Cory put it, if you have to come out on live TV to claim that your husband isn't racist, well, let's just say that it's not a good look. And it's no surprise that Tia didn't want to deal with that. Anywho, after Tamera went on air to claim that her husband wasn't racist, fans pulled a "this you" and brought up some very questionable tweets from her husband. For example, when Trayvon Martin was unalived by George Zimmerman, Adam had a lot to say about black people rioting, but it was crickets when it came to Zimmerman being acquitted. When someone asked him, "You don't think race even played a small part? I'm curious," he replied, "Not in the fight/killing/tragedy, in the aftermath due to people using this for their own gain." He also declared support for Zimmerman, saying, "In conclusion, I wish they both went home that night. Prayers with Martin's family. Zimmerman should not fear vigilante justice." And through all this, Tamera has always stood 10 toes down with her man and continues to claim that he isn't racist. Oh, and let's not forget that her personal trainer even exposed her for secretly being pro-Trump and allegedly even voting for him twice. Tia, on the other hand, is Democratic, and she is loud about it. She has often spoken out when black people are victims of police brutality, and has publicly spoken out in support of Kamala Harris. Like the time she said, "We are making a huge step forward with history. To have a woman, let alone a black woman, potentially be our VP is so inspiring, not only for me, but for my daughter and our next generation." Well, according to Cory, Tia had a major issue with Tamera blatantly defending racism, and slowly but surely, she grew to hate her own sister. And from the looks of things, Tia is not the only one who hates this, because when Tamera tried to do a fresh launch on Threads a few days ago, fans basically ran her off the app and brought up the racism all over again. They even added a community note that said, "Tamera Mowry Housley isn't getting a warm welcome to Threads due to her track record of sympathizing with racists, fascists, and bigots." Her voting history has also been in question, as many believe she voted for right-wing MAGA cult leader Donald Trump. Tamera's husband made headlines last year for disparaging comments about recipients of SNAP benefits. Her husband was also a former new respondent for Fox News, a multinational conservative news and political commentary television channel. So from the looks of things, Tia isn't the only one who actively hates Tamera. But I want to know how you feel about this. Do you think that she's right to hate on her own twin? Or do you think she's doing too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Then check out this next video.